Warning, this content contains foul language, violence, and gore. Enjoy the story. Hi guys, this is Ravenclaw What If. Welcome back to another What If story. Now this is a What If Deku was Gaara's reincarnation. This will be my second Naruto is Hero Academia What If I've made. I probably won't make any more, but I'll come back to this, back and forth with between my other Naruto one. So straight off the bat, Gaara is not going to have his tail beast. I'm not going to add that. There's no chakra. His sand abilities is going to be a sand quirk. It's going to do the same thing as Gaara Sand. He's able to create it. Well, in this what if Gaara, because it's a quirk, he's able to produce sand out of his skin. He produces it. He can control outside sand that's near him, but mostly he'll be using his own sand. I'll be referring sand burial to sand coffin. I just like the sand coffin, and how Gaara does the end of it after he says sand coffin. He's just like desert burial. That's kind of cool, but yeah, Gaara's OP when he's like evil. So well, he's pretty much OP regardless for a Naruto character. But yeah, we're not gonna get into his power scaling. The fact that he has a tail beast in him, so yeah, they're OP. The couture, the oh, I've totally forgot to pronounce it right. Give me a second. Or we're not gonna get into that. I'm not in. Yeah, I won't be able to pronounce it at the moment. So let's see. I got the sand ability taken care of. It's gonna do the same. He's His defense is a passive ability of his quirk. It just activates on its own to shield him from harm. Gaara, him and his family live in a bad part of Hosu City, as it's normal, time to time, outside of his dad beating him. But for some reason, his dad despises him the moment he was born, and Gaara feels the same way. He totally despises his dad. He's had thoughts of getting rid of his father many times. Only reason he hasn't done it yet is because of his mother. Him and Gaara's relationship is very good. It's a close son and mother relationship. As one day he got back from school, as he's waiting for his quirk to manifest. As he doesn't have Gaara doesn't have his past memories. Only type of memories he has is memories of attacks from his past life. As Gaara got through the door, as he hears his mom and his dad arguing, as his dad is basically calling her a useless bitch, as why hasn't he got his quirk yet? He better be not one of those quirkless freaks. Useless. As Gaara hears a gunshot in the kitchen, as he runs over there to see if his mother's alright, as he sees the barrel of the gun smoking from being shot previously, as he sees his mom on the floor. As Gaara tries to get her to move, as his dad's laughing. The bitch is dead. Useless piece of trash. Don't worry. I'll reunite with your bitch of a mother soon. As the gun fires, as the dad's in shock, as there's a sand dome covering the right side of Gaara, blocking the bullet. As the barrier slowly chips off little by little. As Gaara looks at the ground, seeing the bullet drop, as Gaara looks back at his father, I'm going to kill you. As immediately the sand wraps around Gaara's dad, As he's screaming, "Let me out of here! I'm gonna. You think you're gonna beat me now? I'm gonna beat you even worse when I get out of here." As Gaara's not even. He has a blank face on his expression is pretty blank. As he reaches out his hand into a fist, as he slowly closes it, sand coffin. As it covers his face, as the sand lifts up in the air, as Gaara, finish his slaughter of his father. Desert funeral. As all you hear is muffled screams and crunch, then pure quiet. As it's a very ill quiet, or it's too quiet for a house to be. As the blood from his mother and his dad combine into one puddle, as Gaara mixes some sand into the blood, as this is where he gets his tattoo. As he itches his signature tattoo on his face, on his forehead, or where he has it in canon. As Gaara is breathing heavy, as he falls unconscious in the middle of the floor. As by the time the neighbors heard some gunshots, as they called the police, as several hours later the police come in and investigate what happened here. As after the investigation, they believe that it's a one of those bad situations where they believe the dad killed the mother, so the child manifests his quirk out of anger and killed his dad. As they flap it up as a quirk accident, he first manifests the quirk, so they gave him a strict warning for a 6-year-old little kid, but nonetheless. As they would send Gaara to a orphanage somewhere in Hosu City. Unfortunately, the orphanage is not a good place. It's where they harvest organs. As Gaara would notice, kids would get adopted co-creation marks. As when they enter one of the back rooms, well, the basement, no one, only the staff comes out. As Gaara finds that very suspicious, but he sticks to himself. They leave him alone for now, until one day the men dragged him into the room where they strap him to the table. Alright, kid, but your time's up. You've been here long enough. As Gaara looks up at the man, "You're all gonna die, you know that, right?" I can't see you doing anything at the moment, kid. You're kinda tied up. Sand coffin. As sand what? As immediately they're encased in sand. Desert burial. As sand bursts everywhere, all across the room, as everything's covered in sand and blood. As Gaara uses sand to cut off his bindings. Well, no, scratch that. As he turns his hands into sand, as he gets up, as the sand rushes back to his hands, forming his hands. As he sits back in where he was doing before they interrupted him. Since that day, the people that run this shady organization or this shady operation, yeah, they're scared shitless of Gaara. They've had many attempts, and they've always ended in Gaara killing them. So they left him alone. They're thinking that if they get in Gaara's good graces, that it would make a perfect member for their little organization. As 2 years has passed, as he's officially 8 years old, As he's been seeing kids come and go, as they've been quote unquote adopted, more will pop in after a certain amount of the population of the orphans decrease. That caught the eye of a couple of heroes, strictly Mandalay and Pixie Bob. As you have Pixie Bob and Mandalay as they're staking out the orphanage. So, what's the plan, Mandalay? We're here to observe the orphanage for now. Hey, Pixie Bob, look at the far right where that big tree is in their little backyard area. As she looks at it, as it's Gaara sitting by himself. Mandalay, I see the kid. I don't really see the issue here. Look at the rest of the kids. As they're all hanging out and playing and doing what they have to do for fun over there. As Mandalay finds it strange that he's doesn't interact with anyone. After they continue staking out the place, Pixie Bob has been keeping an eye on Gaara, as she finds it very sad that his situation is, and they expect this orphanage is dirty. Doesn't know the extent of what they've been doing, but something's not right. This Gaara over this time has been training his quirk nonchalantly to get to where how much he could use it, how much he could produce sand. As he's just been doing that since his quirk activated. Until one night, a Pixie Bob and Mendeley with a couple of officers raid one of their dumping grounds. As they caught a bunch of them in the act, as they took them down and arrested them. As the next day, they immediately raid the orphanage. You have Gaara leaning against a tree, reading a book. As he looks up, as he sees, the raid go on, as Pixie Bob immediately tried to stop stop one of the gang members. What's in this little organization? It's not one of anyone important. It's not with the League of Villains. It's not associated with the League of Villains or the Yakuzas. It's just like an off-brand, just one of those generic gangs or little or wannabe organizations that look up to All for One as a example. She took down one of the guys as accidentally he fired off some bullets as it's heading towards Gaara. As Pixie Box try to rush over there, she can't really beat the bullet, but anyways, that's immediately a sand dome, a half-formed sand dome form over Gaara as it stops the bullet. As Gaara wasn't even Gaara was still reading while that happened. As Pixie Bob sighed in relief as she told a couple officers to keep an eye on him, as well as she goes off and do her job. As finally, they take down all the thugs. They were horrified at what they were doing. After they took in everyone, and they all transferred the orphan to different orphanages, but they had to interrogate Gaara because he after some investigation, they knew Gaara was the longest. He's been there the longest. It seems like they were leaving him alone. They were suspicious about that. As Gaara told him what he knew, he didn't really care. As you have Pixie Bob and the officer outside, as what's going to happen to him? He's most likely going to sent to an orphanage, but how that kid is, the look in his eye, He won't get adopted. Looks at Gaara in the mirror as she sighs. Screw it. I'll adopt him. As mentally, seriously, Pixie Bob, you're not like what I would call a model, future mother. What, you've been to what, 8 boyfriends already? Shut up, Mandalay. Mandalay, look in that young man's eyes. There's no light, there's nothing. It's like he's given up all hope on everything. So I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna adopt him. I might not be the best mother at first, but it'll be a learning process. Alright, Pixie Bob, I won't stand in your way. Just remember, this is not something you can't want to return if it's too frustrating. I know, Mandalay. This is going to be a permanent thing if I adopt him, and that's what I'm going to do. What happened to his birth parents? As the officer tells her as her eyes widen, as she has her hands over her face, in total disgust of Izuku's father. As she looks back at Gaara through the two-way one-way mirror, sending the paperworks. As they get everything set up for the officialized adoption, as a pro hero, she has more pull than a normal citizen. Being a pro hero, it has its perks. And being one of the Wild Wild Pussycats, the most famous group of the hero organization. In this what if, I don't know if that's canon. This flows it, guys. So I'm not sure. So yeah, it's whatever. It's how it is going to be though. So let's continue forward. Scar is sitting in an interrogation room as finally someone comes in as he sees a blonde lady with blue eyes. As she sits right across from him. As she has a smile on her face. Who are you? Where? I expect they're supposed to be sending me to another orphanage, I guess. So what do you want? She introduced herself. I don't know her of her first or last name. I forgot to look that up. My bad, guys. But yeah, I'm just gonna refer to her as Pixie Bob from now on. So that's her hero name anyway. So as Pixie Bob introduced herself, as she asked for Gaara's name, as Gaara just gave her Gaara. That's what his legal name, anyways. But yeah, so we don't have to go through what I did on my last Naruto What If. So his parents named him Gaara, or his mother. Here for simply one reason. Gaara, I'll be adopting you. As Gaara looks up at Pixie Bob, why would you want to adopt me of all the orphans that was rescued by the heroes and the law enforcement? Simple Gaara. As she, looks genuinely concerned in her expression. I know you've had not a good life so far. I'm going to change that. The paperwork's already been signed and set through the process. You're already adopted. This is more of a formality. Now, I have a simple question. Do you want to be adopted? As Gaara's like, whatever, fine. As he doesn't really care at the moment, so they finally, get ready as they begin to leave the what is it called? The police station. I can't believe I forgot that. I don't know where my brain is right now, but as they take her Pixie Bob took sorry, Pixie Bob took Gaara back to her place where he'll be living. I don't know if all the Wild Pussycats living all in one house. I'm just saying they have separate houses. So she took him to her house. That's going to be officially his house. A few weeks was very awkward, and Gaara would not really conversate with anyone. Pixie Bob had to initiate conversation. Gaara's not, total. He's not a douche, but he would talk. He would conversate back, but very short sentences and very strictly to the point. Until one day when he turned around 10 years old, as he, as some villains that was had some encounters with Mandalay. As the villains know that Mandalay and Pixie Bob are pretty close. As they found out some information where Pixie Bob lives, as they want to go and pay her a visit to send Mandalay a message. They burst in immediately, as immediately Pixie Bob shields Gaara as she stands in front of Gaara between the villains. Sweet, there's two of them here. This will definitely send a whole lot personal message to the heart. Kill them both. As the two villains rush over to Pixie Bob. As Pixie Bob has always had a couple of Earth beasts on her property. Just in case something like this happens. Already formed. Let's just say it's like a Earth fox. No, let's go with fox. Let's go with, not fox, sorry guys. It would be a cat really, but give your species of cat, maybe like a leopard or a tiger. This one of them nails Pixie Bob right in the head as she goes flying into one of the walls in the house. As that actually pissed off Gaara to the point where both the villains are covered in sand as they're lifting up in the air. As all he says is, well, we'll go into here in dialogue. He has his hands up in the air like he's controlling the lift up motion as he's getting ready to ball his hand into a fist. Hurt my mother, you die. As Pixie Bob was happy for the mother part, but not so happy about, the killing part. As she gets up, tells him, Gaara, don't kill him. Just restrain him. Yes, understand. As Gaara walks up to the two villains, you try anything, you won't make it out here alive. As, little Gaara walks, he's still, I said 10 years old. So yeah, he's 10 years old around here. As the villains were kind of scared of that. For a kid, he's very intimidating. It's when the villains get captured and processed to the police station as Menley hugs Gaara immediately after the police left. Thank God you're alright. As Gaara's like, I'm fine. I'm fine, Mom. As, she looks at him, you call me Mom twice. I'm like, well, you pretty much are. I've been here long enough to understand that I'm not going anywhere. You've been very nice to me. Even though you're very annoying. As, she, whaps in the back of the head. Excuse me? I'm not annoying. As Gaara sighs, whatever, Mom. Well, I'm gonna go back to my room. No. We're gonna help your mother clean up this mess. Fine. It's the middle of the year and they're cleaning up the house, straightening it up. As she didn't want the staff to do it. She has her own staff, but not to extent to the Yairozus or one of the top-ranking pro heroes, but she does a few for the place she has. Gotta say, Gaara, you're quite good with your quirk. Not really. I'm still figuring it out. How about this? How about I'll help you with your sand quirk? You know, I know you have a earth quirk. Why? How can you help me? Trust me, we might have our two quirks might be totally different, but I'll be able to help you structure objects and maybe some animals into your sand quirk. It's the same preference, just a couple steps are different. The elements are different a little bit, but nonetheless, let your mom help you out. Fine, Mom. Well, we'll see what happens. As Gaara, does schooling. He's not homeschooled at all. He's not very well. People don't like him very much because he's very standoffish and he's basically Gaara's personality before he, got all nice. The only reason he hasn't killed his classmates because he promised his mom that he would not kill anyone while he's at school. So Gaara holds himself back. Each time when he does get pissed off, his tattoo glows a bright red. That's when you know he's about to go. You're pretty much screwed. Because of he got adopted by Pixie Bob, he does know the rest of the Wild Wild Pussycats. In turn, met Koda's parents before they died, the water hose hero. Never met Koda himself, but he's met majority of the people that are involved with that group. That have involved with them in a social level. Sweet time skip about till he's like 14. By this time, he's perfected his sand coffin. Also, some other custom attacks he came up with Pixie Bob's training. The sand armor, he still could do. Same what Gaara is able to do. I just won't be doing a whole lot of Naruto attacks, but the good ones at least. Because he doesn't have the tail beast, so he won't have, I forget his name, a lot of his abilities, so yeah, so I'm gonna have to make up a lot of stuff, so it's all good. It's for the story, so it's no problem on my end. Sure what time frame the water heroes died, but he had to come into school later in the school year because of the water hose hero's death. They were murdered on the field by Muscular, but not sure what time frame that happens. But in this story, let's say it happened when Izuku was 14, when he was about to go into his first year of middle school. No, let's say his second year. You know what I'm thinking? That will make Koda way older when he gets to the fourth train arc. Scratch out what I said, as he was in the middle of training with Pixie Bob, as she kind of lost track of time. They've been training for a while. I was like, yeah, you're kind of late for, well, your first day of school was a while ago, as they just totally forgot about it. Yep, and it's been about time we go on to his first day. Yeah, okay. So as he gets to his first day, as the teacher announced that they have a latecomer coming in. As that's where we're going to stop it. I'm going to put a pull on. I have a couple ideas who's going to be in the classroom with him. So I hope you guys have a good night and day, judging by time zones, and I'll catch you in the next video.